We are going to Wembley. Yes, we are. Man United have beaten Nottingham Forest 2-0. But to be honest, we knew we were going to Wembley because we'd beaten them 3-0 in the first leg. And there was no way we were going to let that be overturned. Was it a good game? No. It wasn't the best game to watch. And in fact, the game only came alive when the Cavalry came on towards the end. And we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about Garnacho's performance as well. I kept telling people, let's not get carried away. Let's see what the kid has got, not only on his in terms of technical ability, but let's see what the kid has got up here. He's young. He'll get better, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the game. Like I said, in general, it wasn't a good game, but United won, and that's all that matters. Sancho is back. Martial is back. Rashford, of course, has hit form, and this was an early birthday present for Ten Hag, because Ten Hag's birthday is tomorrow. Yeah, I'm glad Sancho is back. I think the kid has been spoken about very unfairly. I'm always the first one to stick up for Sancho. Sancho is a great footballer. I think if we treat him well, don't try to give him the Pogba treatment. Think about football like this, right? You can play for a team, right, and not score goals, but when you play in the team, you're a net positive, i.e. you make everyone on the team play 20% better. So you might not get 30 goals a season, you might still get 10 goals a season, but everyone else around you gets 12 goals. Or you can be that guy that gets 20 goals a season, no one else around you gets any goals, and you finish 6th, the worst ever season that Man United have ever had. He plays percentage football, Bruno, a bit too much. He's like a spammer. I think I prefer a more calculated footballer. But it was good to see, like I said, Sancho on the 10. It's good to see the fluidity. It's promising to see the variety and the combinations that we can have. But then he had 2 bad games. And I remember that Chelsea game was a bad game, Sancho. You're my guy, but that was a bad game. And I was watching that game and I was saying, yeah, this guy is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as the game went on. Nothing was going right for him. If you're not... Guys, before we get into it, as usual, smash the like, turn on your notifications, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe below. It's a brand new channel where we give just authentic, honest football opinions. I try not to give biased views. I just say what I see, and that's all I do. All I try to do, I guess. I mean, everyone's a bit biased, but I try not to be as biased as possible. But yeah, okay, cool. Let's talk about the game, guys. Let's break it down. United won. We're all happy. We're all smiles. The starting lineup, no surprises really. Varane, well, I say no surprises really, but he could have gone weaker given the fact we were already 3-0 up. But hey, Ten Hag is not joking around. Eriksen, of course, is injured, hence why we have a new signing. He can't play. Plus, Fred is not the worst replacement anyway. Of course, Fred and Casemiro play in the midfield for Brazil. We know Fred. We've seen Fred. I'm not hard on Fred. I think Fred is a really good player. I think people talk negatively about Fred's performances when in reality, when you look back at most of the big games, he performs well in most of the big games. And I think grouping him with McTominay and calling him McFred, I think it's just unfair for Fred because I think Fred is much better than McTominay. So Fred and Casemiro started in the midfield. We had, of course, Varane and Martinez, like I said, Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right back, Shaw left back. Garnacho started now on the left-hand side of the attack with Antony, who, in my opinion, had a good game. We're going to talk about that as well. On the right, Weghorst, who is feeding himself into the team. He's started in the middle, and Bruno. So, no complaints about the team. However, Man United, and I've said this, I think, in all my videos, and we can all see this with our eyes. United start well in the sense that we take control of the game possession-wise, but we don't always start with intensity. Not the way that Arsenal start, not the way that Man City start, by just pinning you back straight away. First of the ball, one-touch football. We don't do that. And we didn't do that today. We didn't do it. And it was at Old Trafford, and I expected United to really give us a good performance today, but it just didn't happen. The start was very, very uninspiring. A very, very uninspiring start from Man United. We weren't moving the ball quick enough at all. And that was a common theme through the whole of the first half. The speed in which we were moving the ball was just not quick enough. And, you know, I can always say, I say the word cohesion a lot in all my videos. Cohesion. I mean, cohesion is a lot of things. It's repetition, it's patterns of play, it's memory, it's, you know, it's essentially getting used to your teammates. And, you know, we could see that, and we kept seeing that in the final third. Garnacho, within the first 15 minutes of that game today, I knew I was going to be very annoyed with Garnacho, because the first 15 minutes, he just kept making the wrong decisions. And I kept saying to myself, when I first saw him, I was like, okay, he's got the speed and he's got a good amount of technical ability, but he's got the speed and he looks like he has the power for the Premier League. And that's what the Premier League likes. That's what people who watch the Premier League like, speed and power. But let me see if he's got the brains. I know he's young, but he can still have the decision making. You know, I think Saka is quite young, but Saka for Arsenal has a quite grown up decision making process. You know, for his age, I believe. Does he have the footballing IQ? Essentially, is what I'm saying. And today, for me, Garnacho displayed that he's still. I can't go and say he doesn't have the footballing IQ, because I don't like to speak as black and white like that. Let's say he needs to develop his footballing IQ. That's one thing I saw today. Another thing I saw today in the first half, especially within the first half an hour of the game, was that all our attacks were coming down the left-hand side. Cool, you know. Well, it's not. You know, it's not cool. We want a dynamic team where the attack can come from any side and we can score from anywhere. That's the whole point. You know, we don't want to be predictable. And I thought to myself, what's going on the right? And one thing I noticed on the right hand side when Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Antony played together, and I know a lot of you guys like that combination, and it does give Antony a bit of freedom, because Aaron is slightly better than Dalot defensively. Well, at least 1-on-1 defensively. But Antony tucks in a lot. That's how he plays, right? He's left-footed and he plays on the right. You can argue, and we could talk about Antony as well, you can argue that he cuts in a bit too much. And even though you're left-footed, it doesn't mean you can't go down the right. You can still dribble with your left foot and still go down the right, Antony. And if Antony's cutting in the left a lot, Aaron has to stay out wide and overlap. He has to. The same way that when Rashford cuts in, Shaw is showing overlap, or he should be holding that line, or somebody's there. That wasn't happening. So when Antony's cutting in, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is also in the field. So Antony's cutting in and he's passing the ball to Aaron Wan-Bissaka a lot of the times. Or sometimes Casemiro, of course. And there's no one out wide here. That kept happening time and time again. So we weren't, even though it's difficult because I'm not saying Antony played badly either. I think he played well today. But I think the choice of movement and positions that were taken up at times on the right-hand side were just wrong, in my opinion. But, you know, the game went on. 28 minutes, we had a chance. Shaw crossed to Casemiro's header. And Forest got into the game. Well, I wouldn't say get into the game, but Forest, they didn't really get into the game. But in the first half, they had actually one or two chances to score. And I was watching the game thinking, this is a very, very bad game. It was so scrappy. We were moving the ball so slowly. It was so boring. Forest, like I said, should have scored in the 33rd minute. Johnson should have scored. Antony had a chance in the 37th minute. He had a little skill, performed a little skill. Then when he kept the ball on from being a flipping goal kick. And then he had that volley where he shot over the bar. So like I said, Antony actually had a decent game. I just think some of the positions he was taking up and the way he was playing, perhaps it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka just needed to just stay out wide a bit more and just whip some crosses into Weghorst, because Weghorst once again was starving. This guy's starving. but it is what it is. Sorry. We had another chance in the 45th minute before half time. It was Casemiro's cross to Weghorst's header. I think it hit the post. I think the keeper saved it or hit the post. That was a decent header. He peeled back, and I think he was leaning back a little bit. But we went into the second half, or went into half time 0-0. And like I said, the first half, guys, it was just not a good half. There was no patterns of play. The speed, the intensity wasn't there. There was no one-touch football. All the attack was coming on the left. We had good moments down the right. It just was not working at all. It was not a good half of football. But like I said, the second half started. Weghorst, it looked like Weghorst could have had a penalty. Of course, when it replayed it, I don't think it looked as if the player didn't touch Weghorst. And I don't think he did. What do you guys think? I've seen it twice. I don't think there was a touch. But that being said, I don't think there was a touch. But that being said, guys, let me know. Because, was it me? United didn't get anything today. I felt like the ref smoked something. No, so, seriously, but the ref, I don't understand. I was watching the game and I was thinking, this ref is not giving us nothing. But let me know. I don't think it was a penalty. I gotta be honest. I'm not gonna be biased. I don't think it was. But let me know what you guys think. But yeah. But then the Cavalry came on. My guys. Weghorst has done okay since he's come. In fact, he's done well since he's come. He scored 1 goal. He's linked the play well. He hasn't been getting the service. Some people talk about Martial not scoring goals. Well, look at Weghorst. He's not getting the service either. But we know what we look like. We know what we look like when Martial's on the field. We've seen it in pre-season. We've seen it throughout his career. And we've seen it when he's come on against Liverpool, when he's played against Man City. Whenever we play with Martial on the field, we just play better football because he's a really good footballer. Very underappreciated, but really good. And when I saw the 3 guys just standing there ready to come on, I was like, oh gosh. Okay. This is what Ten Hag was doing. Ten Hag was just sitting there watching the game with a cigar, like, or just flipping, playing with his cards. And he just went, cool, I'm done now. And then the 3 guys came on. Rashford, Sancho, and Martial completely changed the game. There was speed now and an intensity in the way that we passed the ball and the way that we moved the ball. And it came from just all 3 of those guys. I'm glad Sancho is back. I think the kid has been spoken about very unfairly. I'm always the first one to stick up for Sancho. Sancho is a great footballer. I think if we treat him well, don't try to give him the Pogba treatment like you guys trying to be doing. He's a British guy. He's one of our own. If you guys want to do that stuff like you guys do, look after this kid, man, because he's a baller. He can kick ball. And we know what Rashford can do. We've seen Rashford this season. We've seen what Rashford has been doing this season. Kudos to that kid as well. So, well, he's not a kid anymore. But yeah, the speed and intensity that these guys were playing with now. One-touch football. And one thing I like that Ten Hag did, I'm not getting carried away. One thing I like that Ten Hag did, he played Sancho on the 10 and he moved Bruno out wide. And once again, kudos to Ten Hag, man, because I've always said Sancho is not quick. If you think, I don't like when players come to the club and everyone's like, oh, why can't he just be quick like Rashford? Why can't Antony be like, no, let the players be who they are. Like Sancho's not a speed merchant. He's not a pace and power man. He's not PP, as Rance would like to say. He's somebody who he likes the ball into feet. He's techie. He's more close like a Phil Foden type player. Probably maybe Phil Foden's even quicker than him. He's never been that guy. So just let him be the player he is. You know, Sancho in the 10, I've always thought to myself, could work. I don't know if it's going to work full time, long term. I don't know. I'm not going to get carried away. I'm not that sort of fan, right? I'm not going to say Sancho in the 10 is the best thing ever. No, let's not do that. But let's see, because I don't know what Sancho's. I know as a winger what Sancho's passing game is. You know, when you're playing, and he has played number 10 for Dortmund. Let's not kid ourselves. He has played that role. Not all. Obviously, he plays it usually out wide, but he has also played that role for Dortmund, so he can do it. But whether he can do it long term for Man United, that's the thing. How is his passing game? What's his swivel like? I want to see that now. His swivel when he's playing that position. It's all good facing that way, but what is your back to goal business like? Are you strong? Are you gonna flipping hold back the Premier League defenders? Let's see that. Let's see you play the other way. That's what I want to see. So let's not get carried away. But I'm encouraged. Let's say I'm encouraged by Sancho in that position. Bruno shifted to the right, like I said. Martial, as we need him, down the middle, and it was just fluid. And because these guys can play and Sancho can, receive the ball, and that's what you want. You want a footballer. I always tell people, listen, system ballers, the ballers that can play in systems and only in systems, that's fine. But when you get a footballer, he can just play football. Just play football. He's a footballer. Fuck defending and midfielding and striking. I'm a footballer. I do everything. I just want to play football. Or I can only defend. Let's start giving more respect to the footballers. Yeah, in our team, and not the guys who are just rigid. Yeah. So when you have footballers who can just play in the position and dribble and do their thing, that's what happens. You have fluidity, and that's what we saw. I'm not getting carried away, like I said, or maybe I am. Who knows? Who gives a fuck? We're going to Wembley. But yeah, that's what we saw today with those guys when they came on. And we scored. It was a scrappy goal, but Antony Martial scored. The ball, I don't know. I looked at the goal again. The ball he slid through to Rashford. Could he have had? He probably could have put more pace on the ball. Maybe Rashford could have been closer to him. I don't know. But either way, we scored. I'm happy for Martial. I wouldn't say he needed the goal, because I just hope people understand that it's not all about goals and assists. It's about put it this way. You can think about football like this, right? You can play for a team, right, and not score goals, but when you play in the team, you are net positive, i.e. you make everyone on the team play 20% better. So you might not get 30 goals a season, you might still get 10 goals a season, but everyone else around you gets 12 goals. Or you can be that guy that gets 20 goals a season, no one else around you gets any goals, and you finish 6th, the worst ever season that Man United have ever had in history or whatever. So I want people to start thinking of football in a fluid way. Fuck stats all the time. Stats don't mean nothing without content or context. But yeah, good goal. A bit scrappy. It was a scrappy goal, but we scored. Another goal, we scored almost 2 minutes after. And it was a good goal. It was Bruno outside of the boot cross. And Bruno, oh my gosh. The thing about Bruno, he does that. He tries those sort of things too many times. I just wish Bruno just played it simple. The problem that I have with Bruno is that he'll do that 10 times. He'll fail 9 times and succeed once. And the one time that he succeeds, we're like, yeah, but like, it's amazing. It's like, that's the exception. That's not the rule. Like, he plays almost like, he plays percentage football, Bruno, a bit too much. He's like a spammer. I think I prefer a more calculated footballer who only passes the ball when he knows he's going to make, rather than someone who just spams and plays more percentage balls. But, it was a good goal. Great cross, because I can praise him and criticize him at the same time. That we can do this on this channel. We're not sort of, oh, you hate Bruno or you love Bruno. Let's just talk about the game. Fuck that shit. I don't love El Hate anyway. I don't know him. I don't know you, Bruno. I've never met you. Good luck to you. But yeah, good goal. Like I said, outside of the boot, cross to Rashford. I don't know if Rashford meant to give it back to Fred. Maybe he did. I think he did. And yeah, Fred bonded it over 2-0. Game was over, really. It fizzled out towards the end. We had a few chances, a few nice touches. Martial played a few balls in. Rashford could have had, well, Rashford maybe could have had a penalty. Casemiro and Varane went off the field. Maguire and Lindelof came on. Lindelof played DM. Lindelof played DM. I guess you've seen it all, eh? You know, you're 2-0 up, 5-0 up on aggregate. Go on, Lindelof, play DM, do your thing. That was cool to see it anyway. But yeah, like I said, the game fizzled out. But it was good to see, like I said, Sancho on the 10. It's good to see the fluidity. It's promising to see the variety and the combinations that we can have in attack now that Sancho's back. Because I think a lot of people have just forgotten that, one, we haven't had Sancho, and two, they've literally forgotten how good Sancho is. He started the season okay, then he got better, right? Don't forget he's playing with this CR7 that's a net negative. CR7 makes a team play -30, right? So he's playing with that guy. He got better, but then he had 2 bad games. And I remember the Chelsea game was a bad game, Sancho. You're my guy, but that was a bad game. And I was watching that game and I was saying, yeah, this guy is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as the game went on. Nothing was going right for him. I hope it's not going to be a Lingard story where we find out that something has been happening behind the scenes with Sancho. I just hope it's not that, because that's very unfortunate for him. But he's back now, and I just hope he kicks on. Hope Martial kicks on, stays injury-free. Rashford. We got options now. We got the new midfielder in from Bayern. And we're still in 4 competitions. We're not going to win the league, guys. If we win the league, oh my gosh, I'm going to be unbearable. But we're not going to win the league, guys. We still can win the Europa League. Barcelona is going to be a tough game. I think we can do it. Surely we have to be confident about beating Newcastle. Surely we have to be confident about winning this trophy now. And yeah, Premier League, top 4. As long as we keep maintaining, top 4 should be us. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Happy birthday, Ten Hizzle. Happy birthday, Ten Hag. Early birthday present for you, my G. Hope you guys like the video. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. Let me know if you disagreed on my assessment. Not a good game. Got better in the last 20 minutes, but not really a good game. But it doesn't matter. We won and we're through. And that's the main thing. My man of the match was not Bruno. No. My man of the match was probably, I would say, tough one. I mean, Antony. I'll give it to Antony again. I think before he came off, I think he had a decent game. But yeah, I guess, you know what? Because Bruno played 90 minutes and Bruno got the assist, I can see why they gave it to Bruno. But I'm gonna stick with my original thing and give it to Antony, you know. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. Thank you guys for joining, and have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next time for the next game. Let me know your thoughts, man. Comment below. Give me your knowledge. It's about, I want to learn. That's my opinion of the game. I might have missed something, you know. Just let me know some stuff, guys. If you're not